What happens when a cardinal, a former head of the Vatican's doctrinal office, looks at bishops banning the traditional Latin Mass in their diocese? He doesn't mince words. He calls it very problematic, not pastoral, and says such bishops seem not interested first in the salvation of the people. That's exactly what Cardinal Gerhard Müller did at a recent conference. This isn't just another opinion piece. This is a high-level theological critique from within the heart of the Church's teaching authority. For Catholics trying to understand the intense battle over liturgy, Cardinal Müller's comments give us a powerful lens. He shifts the debate from one about rules and uniformity to the most fundamental question of all: what is the Church actually for? Let's break down the Cardinal's clear, twofold argument. First, he defends the right of the faithful. He builds on Pope Benedict XVI's logic. The Second Vatican Council called for a renewal of the liturgy, but this renewal has not in all senses been very successful. For many, the post-conciliar changes led to a loss of the sacred, a focus on the community over the transcendent, and sometimes liturgical abuse. Therefore, Catholics who cling to the ancient form that nurtured saints for centuries are seeking spiritual nourishment in a time of famine. Banning it, Müller implies, is like shutting down a soup kitchen during a hunger crisis. Second, he attacks the priorities of certain bishops. Here's his most damning charge. Some bishops are more interested in the unification of the external rites than in the salvation of the people. He contrasts this with Jesus' command at the Last Supper: "Do this in memory of me." The bishop's duty, Müller argues, is to ensure the faithful can do this, receive the Eucharist, in a form that deepens their faith and leads them to heaven. Prioritizing liturgical uniformity over this pastoral care is, in his view, a failure of the bishop's primary role as a shepherd. Cardinal Müller isn't speaking in a vacuum. His criticism is directed at a very real pattern of restrictions that have escalated since Traditionis Custodes, 2021. Diocese of Charlotte, North Carolina. Bishop Michael Martin restricted the TLM to one small chapel, knowingly inadequate for the congregation, and requested altar rails not be used for communion at novice ordo masses, a move seen as eliminating a traditional practice often associated with reverence. Diocese of Knoxville, Tennessee. Bishop Mark Beckman plans to eliminate the TLM at all 3 parishes offering it, replacing them with Latin novice ordo masses. For attendees, this is not the same. It swaps the ancient rite for a modern one, said in an ancient language, effectively ending their form of worship. Global pattern. From France to Australia, similar restrictions have been reported, often causing heartbreak, confusion, and a sense of exile among faithful communities. These actions embody the unpastoral approach Müller condemns. The message perceived by the faithful is conform or leave. As Müller stated, telling discontented Catholics they can go where they want is the antithesis of pastoral care. So, why is this happening? The clash isn't just about preferences. It's a collision of 2 different visions of the Church's mission and the nature of liturgy itself. Cardinal Müller's comments help us define this clash. Vision A. The Church as a field hospital. This view, championed by Benedict and echoed by Müller, sees the liturgy first as medicine for the soul. In a world and a church in crisis, the ancient Mass is a proven source of spiritual strength, doctrinal clarity, and transcendent beauty. Unity is primarily achieved through shared belief in dogma, not identical ritual form. As theologian Father John Zuhlsdorf often notes, the TLM acts as a bulwark against doctrinal ambiguity, forming Catholics with a strong, unambiguous sense of the faith. Restricting it, in this view, weakens the Church's immune system. Vision B. The Church as a unified people. The opposing view holds that the existence of a separate liturgical block creates division, fosters a critical spirit toward Vatican II, and jeopardizes ecclesial unity. Uniformity of practice is seen as a necessary tool for unity of community. From this perspective, the bishop's role is to integrate all into the mainstream parish life centered on the novice ordo, which is seen as the council's intended fruit. The critical insight. Müller is accusing certain bishops of a profound category error. They are treating a pastoral theological issue, how to care for souls drawn to tradition, as a bureaucratic disciplinary problem, how to enforce a rule for neatness' sake. He is reminding them that the supreme law of the Church is the salvation of souls, salus animarum. Any other law or application thereof that actively hinders that salvation is, theologically speaking, being misapplied. Cardinal Mueller is not a lone voice. He stands with a significant cadre of prelates who have raised theological and pastoral alarms. Cardinal Raymond Burke has stated the TLM was never abrogated, and a pope cannot wield absolute power to erase it. Bishop Athanasius Schneider has powerfully argued that the faithful have a right to the liturgy of the saints, and that resisting its suppression is a form of obedience to tradition. This growing consensus suggests the current restrictive regime is theologically unstable. It is creating a paradox where shepherds are alienating some of their most devout, doctrinally orthodox sheep, precisely the Catholics a shrinking church can least afford to lose. Cardinal Müller's intervention is a serious, theologically grounded challenge. It reframes the debate from traditionalists versus the Pope to pastoral care versus managerial overreach. It asks every Catholic, especially clergy and bishops, to reflect, are our liturgical policies designed for the true spiritual good of the people or for administrative convenience and ideological conformity? The ultimate question he leaves us with is this: will the Church be a broad haven for all souls seeking Christ, even in diverse ways, or will it narrow its gates? What do you think? Is Cardinal Müller correct that salvation of souls must come first? Or is liturgical uniformity a necessary price for unity? Share your respectful thoughts in the comments below. If you want more deep dives into the forces shaping the Catholic Church today, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.